Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Thank
Well, hello there. My name's Brandon. And I want to tell you about the videos that you're going to be seeing in the coming months, which are kind of like infomercials, telling you about the events and volunteers that we need. But I need a little help in describing that and kind of why this is so important. So, Heather, Petra, come here. Can y'all help me tell everybody about why we need people to volunteer for different things, and also why is it important, and what kind of events have we got going on that we want people to show up?
Oh, we have a lot going on, of course. We need you. And we need you to be a part of this community and to join into our shared ministry. Everybody has a different way of feeling called to community, and so these videos are going to perhaps help you figure out where you fit in and how you want to join in our shared ministry.
But most of all, we have lots of fun when we do all of the committee stuff. And it's a lot more fun when you have other people to play with. It's not any fun when you're playing all by yourself. Well, not as much fun, right, guys?
That's right. We have lots of fun. There's much joy to be found in coming to church and offering your time and your talents. Thank you.
And now, perhaps, we will sing our anchor song for the month of September, which is Come Sing a Song With Me. I believe the words will be on the screen or not?
The tune goes like this.
Our newsletter is published every Wednesday, and it is the main source of what's happening around here. Please subscribe and get one. When you do, please read it. It is the sole source of information about what to expect at UUCL. We even have all of the gatherings that are not connected to our congregation because we have lots of committees and, not committees, groups that meet here. Okay, of special importance and that which you need to know, our worship committee is changing our meeting day to the first Thursday of the month to see if that's more convenient for everyone. Now, this month, you lucked out, you didn't miss it, because the first Thursday was on the 1st of September, and Heather was not in town. So we moved our very, very, very first Thursday meeting to September the 8th at 5 o'clock. It will be on Zoom, and it will also be in the social hall. So I will be in both places, on Zoom and in the social hall. And now I would like to invite Heather up to tell us about our water communion and remind us what we're supposed to do.
Morning! Good morning! It's good to see y'all. I am Heather Norby. I'm the Spiritual Life Director for this congregation. I just got back last night at midnight from seminary in Chicago. So I'm awake and here with you. So I just want to let you know that next week is our water communion. Water communion is a service that we do every year. It's a UUY tradition, and it's about ingathering, about coming back together and building community. So what we ask is that you bring in a little bit of water to add to our bowl. And this water can come from your faucet, it can come from your dog's water bowl, it can come from the rain, it can come from a lake, anywhere that feels special to you. And this year, since our theme this month is belonging, I just want you to reflect this week on how you belong, where you belong, to what you belong, to who you belong, why you belong, all those questions, so that when we pour our water, we can talk about how it symbolizes our belonging. Keep an eye on the newsletter for more specific reflection questions for the service, but it's an important worship service that we do every year, so looking forward to seeing all of you, collecting your water and your thoughts. Thank you. Oh, also, dinner worship, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock in the sanctuary. See you then.
Thank you. All right, so Heather did remind us that our worship and programming theme this month is belonging. So let us begin our journey together by recognizing our interconnectedness to each other and all things. Considering our seventh principle, respect for the interdependent web of existence of which we are a part, our topic for today is belonging to the earth. We must keep in mind that we belong to the earth. It does not belong to us. We are honored to have with us today Ms. Marion Ryan, and Tom Palmer. They will speak to us today about Polk Forever and its initiative to preserve sacred lands in Polk County. Marion Ryan is a lifelong resident of Winter Haven and graduate of Florida Southern College. Active in conservation and recreation issues for over 3 decades, she retired in 2016 after 44 years with the Florida Department of Agriculture Dairy Bureau. She's currently president of the Green Horizon Land Trust and the Friends of the Polk County Parks Foundation. She also serves as vice chair of the Polk Forever Political Action Committee and conservation chair of the Ancient Islands group of Florida Sierra. Tom Palmer is a Florida native and an award-winning journalist who covered the environment and local government in Polk County for more than 4 decades. In retirement, he serves on the boards of the Ancient Islands Group of Florida, Sierra, Green Horizon Land Trust, and Polk Forever. Today, we are having our chalice lighting, and we light our chalice, the symbol of our UU faith, to remind us to recharge, refresh, and renew as we worship together. Our chalice today is going to be lit by Bella Steele as we sing Spirit of Life.
Oh
Avenue, Jesse Crossan died this past Wednesday, August 24th. I know many of us received this information by email, and we are sending all of our thoughts and condolences to Marilyn. I'm sure that there will be a service of celebration of life for him scheduled in the very near future. On another side, Joshua Sussman's ankle surgery was successful, and he had his heart stent put in on Tuesday after the surgery. He is in good spirits. He's been moved to Scott Lake Rehab Facility, and he welcomes visitors so long as COVID permits. Phone calls are always appreciated. So let us turn now to honor our weaving of joys and sorrows that run throughout all of our lives. We engage in this ritual every week as a way to nurture and as a way to heal, knowing that we are all in this together. We invite you up to the chalice table to drop a pebble in the bowl of water containing the stones of our founding elders. If you are on Zoom, we will say your name and drop a pebble for you, so we all know that we are together and connected, striving towards holiness.
Today on Zoom, we have Vaisel Dokor, Ali Parvaz, Dan Wagner, John Hughes, Joshua Sussman, Judy Pell, Lisa Reiner, and Colette Chilton.
All right, now if you will stand in body or spirit as we sing Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky.
All right, the tune we sang this last week sounds like this. Here we go.
And now, Mrs. Marion Ryan will speak to us.
Good morning, everybody. Tom and I really appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning. And as Peter said, we are here today representing Polk Forever, a group of citizen volunteers working to gain approval to reestablish funding for environmental lands acquisition and management in Polk County. Since its inception, Polk County's Environmental Lands Program has improved our quality of life in numerous ways through the acquisition of conservation land sites, the restoration of those sites such as the marshes at Circle B Bar Reserve, land management activities including prescribed fire, the construction of the Nature Discovery Center at Circle B Bar Reserve, as well as other outdoor recreation facilities for our use and enjoyment. Environmental lands funding was originally approved by voters in 1994, and in those 20 years, the program provided funding to acquire conservation lands in every region of Polk County, including contributing to the purchase of Colt Creek State Park. Polk is now one of the fastest growing areas in the nation. If we are to conserve our county's unique ecological character and preserve its valuable ecosystems for current and future generations, we need to acquire additional conservation land soon. 4 distinct areas have been identified for conservation efforts, just like they were in the first referendum. The Green Swamp to the north, the heart of the Florida Aquifer, serves as headwaters to 4 major rivers and is the hub of statewide wildlife corridors. The Lake Wales Ridge, which lies east of and generally parallels US 27, supports distinctive plant and animal species found nowhere else on Earth. The Peace River to the west extends from the Green Swamp to Charlotte Harbor and offers opportunities to recreate a natural corridor that is valuable for wildlife and recreation. In the east, the upper Kissimmee Basin's freshwater marshes, hardwood swamps, dry prairies, and scrub woods provide high-quality habitat for an immense variety of plants and animals and support a wide array of recreational opportunities. Land conservation is a bipartisan endeavor, as evidenced last year by the passage of the Florida Wildlife Corridor Act, along with $300 million in funding. The act formally recognizes the statewide greenway that spans from the Panhandle to the Everglades, the objective being to connect large swaths of conservation land and protect them via outright purchases or by conservation easements. The Florida Ecological Greenways Network was created by the University of Florida's Center for Landscape Conservation Planning and GeoPlan Center for the Florida Department of Protection. Sorry, I worked for agriculture too long. It identifies the most important wildlife corridors and large intact landscapes in the state for landscape-dependent species, including the Florida panther, and for protecting watersheds and other ecosystem processes. It is used in the Florida Forever and the Rural and Family Lands Protection Program to evaluate proposals for their landscape conservation importance. This is the science behind the Florida Wildlife Corridor. Priorities 1 through 3 make up the Florida Wildlife Corridor. These are protected lands that are the highest priority for conservation efforts.
Wonderful. And to help us remember exactly why we're doing all this, we are going to move this morning to, once again, if you feel like it, stand in body or spirit, and we're going to sing For the Beauty of the Earth.
The tune goes like this. Opportunity to avail you of the fact that there is hymnal and that back part right there. We do have one more hymn that we're going to do that's in the teal hymnal. You might want to take this time and grab yourself a teal hymnal.
Yes.
So you'll be able to sing along.
So yes, let us do that.
Thank you very much.
That's good. Thank you very much. Once we're all seated again, Mr. Palmer will enlighten us as well.
Well, good morning. My name is Tom Palmer again. Again, we'd like to thank you for inviting us to speak. Polk County is one of the largest counties in Florida. It's got diverse habitats that make it home for thousands of species of plants and animals that are part of our diverse natural heritage. We have some specific examples, like there's more than 300 species of birds that live here and migrate through here. We recorded 104 species of butterflies here. Moths, maybe people don't think about them except in their closets, but they're mostly nocturnal. So far we've recorded 731 species of moths right here in Polk County. It's like the highest, one of the highest places in the state. And the plants, there's a lot of interesting plants. I'll tell you, call attention to one, that beautiful blue flower. It's called celestial lily. It's an interesting plant. It doesn't, the flowers don't open until 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is led some people to want to call it the happy hour flower. And there's also diverse animals. We've got mammals, everything from deer and bobcat to bats, to wood rats, panthers come through occasionally. We've got just diverse reptiles, amphibians, and you know, and of course the invertebrates. People don't think about invertebrates. That's what makes nature work. But the thing that ties all these together is they need intact, connected, well-managed habitat to survive, and that's the goal of the November 8th referendum, is to do that. Because habitat matters. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. Yeah, and you know, we want to connect, you know, the existing conservation lands, remove gaps that lead to habitat fragmentation. This is a Florida Natural Inventory interactive map that shows, you know what the acreage, brief description, whether the purchase was outright or less than fee. And to improve it, county's greenways and trails through and between natural areas, because we've got a lot of trail system, and we could, you know, connect the native natural areas, but also connect it to urban things, so you can get from one place to the other. And and also we want to improve access to water bodies. You know, only about 20% of the lakes in Polk County have a public access boat ramp, so we could do better if we could find the land. And let's see. And also, you know, a lot of this we can leverage, because last time, like 70% of the acquisition costs were paid by somebody besides Polk County taxpayers. So that's the thing. And next slide. As that map illustrates here, our county holds key components of the Florida Wildlife Corridor, or conservation goal, that can be achieved by the expansion, buffering, and connection of existing preserves and wildlife corridors. Light green areas are those already in conservation status. Dark green areas represent conservation opportunities. So you can see there's quite a bit to do. Sorry. If approved, the program can buy land outright from willing sellers or purchase development rights to create conservation easements. Conservation easements permanently limit some uses of the land by allowing traditional agricultural practices, such as cattle ranching and forestry, to continue. And farmers and ranchers have an opportunity to protect their lands threatened by development. And the benefits of land conservation are many, and includes things you might think of, might not think of, like reducing air and water pollution, increasing flood protection, reducing soil erosion. It can also provide some economic opportunities to capitalize in ecotourism and recreation activities. In addition, for children and adults alike, daily contact with nature is linked to better health, less stress, better mood, reduced obesity, an amazing list of benefits no other product can even match. And you know, our citizens deserve, you know, more nature-based outdoor recreation opportunities. Greenways, blueways, trails, open space needs have not been fully met by the previous acquisition program. The public should be given an opportunity to fund the acquisition of environmentally sensitive lands that protect our water, wildlife, and wilderness. And let's see what we got next. Okay, this is the ballot question. It's going to be on the November 8th ballot, right at the bottom. You have to persevere and go all the way to the bottom of the ballot to find our measure, but we're looking for support. But it would impose a small property tax for 20 years. The average price for the average homeowner is about $30 a year. And so we just hope you'll support us, because this is really an investment in the future. It's not about, there's for generations to come, children, grandchildren, and beyond. It's really about folks' future. Anyway, thank you.
Need to consider, I would say. And we have now come upon the moment when we can share our treasures with this community as an act of faith. When we each give what we can back to life, we serve a greater good, creating a powerful beauty that can change the world. As a social justice outreach, this Sunday's plate collection will be donated to Polk Forever.
I'm Brandon Knuckles, and I'm one of the folks that does a number of things around here. And this morning I'm going to sit down with Peter Sussman, who's the head of our worship committee, and our ritual artist team, creative and production team. And we're going to talk a little bit about kind of what's been going on for the last couple of years and kind of what we're doing to kind of reboot and refresh some of that. So Peter, let's give everybody a little perspective of kind of what was happening prior to COVID, what was happening during COVID as far as developing services. So what was happening prior to COVID?
Well, prior to COVID, it was pretty much Heather running everything and asking for help whenever she could get it from anybody. But when COVID hit, Heather needed help. And fortunately, Brandon realized that there was a big need and pulled a bunch of us together, asked who wants to help. People raised hands, and we all got together and started creating with Heather and making things that would inspire the service that she wanted to put together. And it has grown in to the, she's certainly willing to accept assistance because it had gotten much too hard for her prior to COVID, and then COVID was just tough on all of us, all of us, and trying to make, that was making a whole new everything, whole new running order, whole new
services. I mean, all together, because we went online completely, where we had not been online prior to COVID for the most part, right?
Right.
And it took a whole team of people to kind of put the services together. And I remember things like the candles y'all did, Advent candles, and we had the bridge and all kinds of music. And this is all the creative and production teams, aka the ritual artists, that came together.
One thing that the worship committee also helps with is our brainstorming fire sessions that we have, like 3 or 4 times a year. I forget how often we have them. We're due for one, I know that.
You're talking about things that the fire brainstorming that Heather gets input of kind of the needs and the wants and desires of the congregation and really trying to get input.
And that helps, that also helps the worship committee and the ritual artists in what we put together later on. It gives us ideas to work with so that we can implement those, and hopefully that will help have services that speak to the congregation, because the congregation is the ones that gave us the ideas in the first place, and we just flesh them out.
I was just trying to think how a typical service comes together.
Well, a typical service comes together by the worship committee talking about what the themes mean to you, mean to each of one of us, and then we work together to figure out how those meanings of such stuff can become a service.
Well, we have worship committee. They meet once a month. Is that right?
The worship committee meets once a month, and we are changing our meeting date.
Okay.
We are going to be meeting on the first Thursday of the month at 5 p.m. here in the social hall or on Zoom. And on Zoom, because I'm going to be on Zoom, but I'm going to be in the social hall for anybody that wants to come in person. And we are making it the first Thursday of the month so that we can see how that goes for people. But there will be some times like this month that it's actually the second Thursday. It would probably not be any more than just the first or second Thursday.
So the ritual artists are really just an extension of the worship committee.
Definitely.
And they meet weekly?
The ritual artists meet weekly, yes, in our creative and production team meetings, which happen every Thursday night at 6:30, only on Zoom.
Gotcha. So now the creative and production team and the worship committee is going to be, the meetings are going to be on the same night, sort of back to back, because really they're kind of a little bit together.
Yes,
they work together.
They are back to back once a month, and then the creative and production team, the ritual artists, will be every month, and the ritual artists are the ones that are implementing the ideas brought together by the worship committee. So the worship committee decides what sorts of things that we would like to have in a service.
Gives us guidance.
Gives us guidance, and the ritual artists create, as Brandon said, the Advent candles, because that was basically Heather's idea, the Advent candles. It was a picture of a 6-inch candle grouping that was on somebody's desk, and she said she wanted it on stage. So that's how that came to be, except for someone who wanted to go dumpster diving in the styrofoam bin, which was lots of fun. But deciding what speaks to us as that particular theme or that particular topic is what we use to create the decorations. What's a better word for that?
Feels, I don't know, the set? Because this is kind of like a TV show in a way.
It's a production.
It's a production, right?
It's definitely a production.
But it's a lot of fun to do as
Yes.
well. Because you see all those visuals on the screens as well. That's part of it. Justin back in the booth, kind of controlling the different aspects, especially the online aspect. And the music.
The music, because we certainly work together to choose music from UUA, Soul Matters, or wherever that will help to convey whatever the service is.
Well, there's also a really important role for each service as well. Like, really important is that worship associate role, right?
Yes, that is a very important role.
Can we tell people a little bit about what is involved in that role? Why is it so important?
Well, the worship associate role is important because it conveys, in my mind, it conveys the standards that the Unitarian Universalist Association like to have in all of their services. It's the person that just kind of sets the mood, for that part of the service.
So they're really kind of buttressing what Heather is doing and really supporting that and setting the mood and the tone for the service there. And the feel for the service.
Exactly. That's exactly what the worship associate is doing, because you also work closely with Heather as to how she wants to present those aspects of the service, which is, they're always there. We always want our joys and sorrows and our chalice lighting and all those things. We want those in the service, but not always, not always just exactly the same way all the time.
So we generally kind of need like organizers and creators, right?
Yes.
So we kind of have some administrative duties, we have musicians we need, we have ritual artists that are putting together different parts of the set. Any other roles that I'm missing? Or who knows, we might invent some roles, right? That ritual artist team is very like flexible, right? And
it's
fluid.
Very fluid, quite fluid. And all of the roles really are fairly fluid. But I mean, those are the basics that we have at this time. The ritual artists are the most fluid, because we need creativity. We need creativity in everything.
There are also some other roles that we want to talk about, because folks may not feel like they're creative. Is there room for folks that are not feeling like they are creative?
Brandon, even people that do not think they're creative, there is still a lot to be done here. And the main thing is, it's always fun. We always have a lot of fun putting together things and just making stuff happen. Making stuff happen is a lot of fun.
Which very much fits with your service from last week, because really, this is a whole lot of play and a whole lot of fun. To be clear, the worship committee is going to be meeting next Thursday, September 8th at 5 p.m. via Zoom and in person. And then after that, at 6:30 on Zoom, will be the creative and production meeting, which meets weekly at that time. And then in the future, the worship committee meeting will be prior to at 5 p.m. on that Thursday, typically going to be the first Thursday of the month. Pay attention to the newsletter. We'll keep you up to date. So in conclusion, we want to encourage you all to join us, both on the worship committee and or the ritual artist, creative, and production team each week, or in the ways that you would like to give involved.
And it has come the time now to extinguish our chalice. So if you'll say the words with me, I think Heather will do the honor of extinguishing our chalice for us.
We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world.
And now let's bring it all home. This is 1064 in the book that you were handed.
Hey, we got lyrics.
And we got lyrics. So we're going to bring it home with our blue goat.
Okay, so first of all, I want to know, how many people know this song? Okay, if y'all know it, sing it out, because there's not a lot of melody coming from the piano. All right, let's all rise in body and spirit as you're able. Here we go. Here we go. I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the holy ocean, still I cry and water sing. I've been sailing all my life from heaven over all port have I known. Wider verses the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue home. So I sail and move my rudder as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ships and remnants, all repeated pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in a beautiful blue home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, and the great winds surging beyond. Bring the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor song. I was born among the fellows, never harbor or port have I known. Wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue
We have reached the end of our service. Mr. Palmer and Ms. Ryan will entertain questions afterwards, after our benediction, which is simply, remember, always, you are loved, you are worthy, and you are a blessing. Thank you, Dorothy. Yes! So if you would like, if you have questions now, please direct.
Or we can do it in the fellowship hall.
So,
We can do it back in the fellowship hall if they like to, whatever you'd like to do. Yeah, I finally retired, so.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Good information. I like putting your brochure together.
Yeah.
It's nice.
What hasn't been appointed yet? It hasn't been appointed yet. First, the referendum has to pass. And how it will work is tax will be levied